welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. Here in Uldah, in front of his distraught lass, where we gain a new job. Redmage. Oh, you're an adventurer, please. Please, you have to rescue my sister. Some horrible people tried to kidnap us right outside the city gates. I managed to break free when a traveler stopped to help, but my sister never caught up with me. Where are your parents? Mama and Papa left early to deal with some merchants, and the breastplates don't seem to care what happens outside the city walls. The traveler, he was some sort of mage, I think, but it was 1 against 6. Surely you couldn't stand against so many. What can I do? Won't you please help me? Okay, right outside here, outside the gate here. I never can remember which of them is the gate of Nald and which of them is the gate of Tal. But it's the east gate. Don't touch it! Oh, you're not one of them? Black mages. Scatter. Oh come, now we're just showing off. It was a melee combo followed by a Verve Flare. And who might you be? Yeah, this is a Redmage. You came to lend your aid. My apologies, had I but known, I would have spared you a villain or two. Fine by me. After all, you seem to share my distaste for those who would prey upon defenseless children. Aye, birds of a feather are we. I'm Srum Tia, a pilgrim of sorts. Might I know your name, friend? Serenia, Now why does that strike a familiar chord? Maybe you heard of me? Warrior of Light and such? Excuse me, I just want to thank you for saving me. My pleasure, child. You are unharmed, yes? Good. Let us escort this brave lass to her sister, then. Lead the way. And back through the gate. You found her, adventurer. Thank you. We are very grateful for your kindness. I did nothing. Thank the man over there. I was so scared. What did those terrible people want with us? You needn't worry about them anymore, sister. The man in red defeated them all. You saw how he fought with spells and steel. He's one of the heroes Papa told us about. A crimson duelist. Aren't you? Huh, I did not expect to hear that name this far south into Eorzea. Then you are a crimson duelist? I knew it! If your papa is telling his daughters tales of red mages, then he must be from Alamigo, yes? Well, that would explain his choice of bedtime stories. Now, shall we see your lasses home? We'll be alright from here. Thank you again. Bye-bye. And away they skip, safe and happy. Now, Serenia, was it not? I believe we've earned ourselves a celebratory drink. You need not feel compelled, my friend. Should the mood strike you, however, you'll find me staying over at Blackbrush Station. I find the ale served at the Coffer and Coffin most agreeable. Okay, let's meet him for a drink then. Yeah, not now, Fate. Ah, you came. As it so happens, the mother of those girls tracked me down and insisted I accept the reward. Once I mentioned you might be stopping by, she left a token of gratitude for you as well. It seems you have assisted an affluent merchant family, a revelation which might explain the attempted kidnapping. Hefty ransom and all that. I'm told the girls were immediately assigned a capable bodyguard, however, so we can drink in peace knowing they are well protected. Oh, I remember whence I know your name. Oh, I learned of you first from a young lass named Alice, whom I met upon the road. She expressed an admiration for your growing exploits, even as she persuaded me to teach her the basics of Redmagery. Remember Alfinor's sister, twin sister even. Haven't met her in an eternity. She proved a quick study in the arcane side of things, but fencing was something of a challenge. By the end of our lessons, however, she had learned to combine spellcraft with swordplay, when to cast from afar, and when to lunge forward with a well-timed thrust. And what of you, my friend? Have you any interest in the art? I suspect you would make an excellent Redmage. Are you serious? I'm deadly serious. A woman who would rush to the aid of a stranger's child without fear or hesitation is a woman I would trust with the power of red magic. But even beyond that, I sense in you a kindred spirit. Be warned, however, that my style of teaching is a practical one. I will expect you to join me on my journey and assist me in aiding others. Accept those terms and I will bestow upon you the accoutrements of a red mage. Are you familiar with soul crystals? This particular stone is attuned to past wielders of red magic and will fill your mind with a firm foundation of technique. You need only reach forth your hand. So, last chance to back out and not become a red mage. Are you prepared to walk the path of a red mage? One word and the soul crystal is yours. Yeah. You will not regret this decision, friend. Gods above, for a moment there I thought you meant to refuse. A host of red mages committed their memories to this gem, and now it is yours. Absorb the knowledge it contains, then we will discuss the finer points of red magic. Ah, but first I should give you that reward. Right. Well distracted. Swoon. Redmage unlocked. How deep the rabbit hole goes one. Now, as a job that was introduced in Stormblood, the second add-on, red mages start at level 50. Which presents a beginning challenge for me because, honestly, I'm a bit overwhelmed by how red mages work in the beginning here. Yeah, I'm a bit irritated that the rapier that dropped from Ifrit is actually weaker than the one we get as a starting weapon. But a red attire coffer, we get a set of equipment which is not quite even to the Ironworks gear you could buy for tokens, but it is a decent set for now for starting gear. Okay, but I guess there's another tech. Yeah, but the Balance Scorch. More about that later, I think. Basically, a red mage, as in other Final Fantasy games, has access to white and black magic, and here he must balance them out to get his most powerful melee attacks. That's the basic of it. Ah, I see from the glint in your eyes that the soul crystal has surrendered its secrets. Welcome to the ranks of the Red Mages. The art we practice is born of noble origin. It balances and controls energies that were once used to stem the tide of destruction and reclaim a future for the dispossessed. I speak of the age some 1500 years past, when the clash of two sorcerous civilizations brought about the Sixth Umbral Calamity. Ere the great flood rose, people fled from their homes and into the mountains of Giabania. Even mages of Mark and Amdapor were to be found among the refugees. These wizardly practitioners became targets of retribution for the part they played in upsetting the natural balance, and soon did they shed their robes of black and vestments of white. If people were to survive and rebuild following the disaster, however, they would need the power of the arcane. Thus were the principles of black and white magery reinvented, and upon their combined foundation an entirely new discipline was built: red magic. But I have prattled on about the history of it for long enough. Far better that you experience red magic firsthand. There remains the mystery of who sent kidnappers after those poor girls, and I have a feeling attempts to unearth a culprit will provide the battle practice you require. Before we plunge into the fray, however, there are questions I would ask. Come with me to Eastern Fanalan, to the Church of Saint Adama Dama. Okay, but now I will sort through my spell list and read the spell descriptions. So, but here we are. In the church. Serenia, there you are. I would introduce you to Father Illud, but I believe the two of you are already acquainted. We are. Soon has told me a tale of nefarious spellcasts and their attempt to kidnap two young girls. And you wish to ask if this thaumaturgical cabal is known to me? Yes? There are several such cults which come to mind, but I must have more details. You say each member shared some rather unusual traits? Aye. Not one word spoken over the entire exchange, not one shift in expression when I urged them to yield. Each of them also appeared branded with some manner of tattoo, a sigil pulsing with arcane energy. An evil practice. Such cursed sigils are known to destroy the will of a bearer, resulting in a biddable puppet which acts in much the manner you have described. There's no salvation for such wretched creatures. Then we must seek the fiends who pull the strings. Pray learn what you can of this cabal and its purpose, Father. Serenia, I have another task to attend to. Might I suggest some light stretching before you step outside? You'll soon understand why. We're being attacked, aren't we? You've learned all red magic actions and traits to level 50. Detailed descriptions, yeah. Did you notice we were being followed, Serenium? The very cabal we were investigating seems to have taken an interest in us. What? I sense an ambush in the offing. Do they seek to silence us, perhaps? Well, let them try. This will be the perfect opportunity for you to test your newly acquired skills. But first, a brief lesson. I need it. I really need it. A red mage's spells belong to two distinct schools, rooted as they are in the ancient disciplines of black and white magic. Intertwined, they form the solid core of red magic, and through the balanced casting of both disciplines can a red mage build this foundation higher and higher. When your strength has reached its peak, that is when you lunge forward and unleash the energies thrumming within your blade, and then you leap away, returning to the first step. It's a dance, my friend. Come out, wherever you are. We have no intention of running or hiding from you. I wear a sword, as you can see, but I'm not partial to violence. Is there no chance you might attempt a parlay in lieu of bloodletting? How unsettling. Well, Serenia, it seems you will have your battle. Remember what I have taught you. Now, I really fumble a bit in this battle because I don't have a proper hang of this class yet. Start with the fundamentals. Cast both black and white magic as evenly as possible. I struggle with this job in the beginning here so hard. I mean, it isn't, after a while it isn't complicated once you wrap your mind around what you're doing, but for now it is. And it's literally, this confusion is disorienting me. That's why I do a lot of nonsense right now. And we'll throw out the rest of the episode. Now there's another. We were not expected to survive the first attack. Well struck. I felt the potency of your blows from here. No, you most certainly didn't, Swoon, because what I'm doing here is utter crap. But I guess he just reacted to my first enchanted melee attack. And every time you cast their thunder and their arrow, you have a chance to unlock their flame or their stone, respectively, which are relatively quick casting spells to uphold your black-white magic combo. These puppets must have a leader lurking nearby. Let us take the battle to our ambushes, shall we? But before we resume the hunt, let us be sure of your technique. As a Redmage, you are capable of casting 2 spells in rapid succession, using what is known as a dual cast. Intone a short spell, and you will find that a lengthy incantation can now be cast in an instant. Take advantage of this technique to bombard your foes with arcane destruction. I needed that lesson, really. If you just paid attention to how badly I did this was. You can't play Redmage much worse than I just did in that battle. Remember, balance black and white magic. Take full advantage of dual cast. This is Jolt. Then a black or white magic spell after. Jolt. And the other one. Yeah, not million perhaps, but okay. An impressive display. You were born to wield the rat. Not yet. I'm still pretty crappy, honestly, Swoon. But thank you. I appreciate it. Even if it's a lie. Whatever here? A wayward orb of ether? Yeah, I'm more worried about the void sand here. Drive away, as I just see it. It's actually the other way around with the area spells. You first cast the black or white magic spell and then the non-elemental, the scatter spell, because it's simply stronger. Another orb? Ah, the Fallens and Eva to their allies. Yeah. Clearly not the hang of it yet. Follow the sphere. It will lead us to the source of this ambush. Empty archmagus. The earth of the fallen gathered for some dark purpose, I wager. Hound of the Netherrealm, accept this feast of souls. May our life serve as payment for the destruction of our foe. Ah, a Cerberus? He sacrificed himself for that demon dog just to kill us? I'd be flattered if I went so horrified. Where was thanks? I should get some distance, really. Keep your distance from the ether it spews. Mini, great. Not enough. You need 80 for a full combo to be enchanted. Yeah, I'm just terrible here. I'm so confused with a Redmage that I can't even play normally decent. So avoiding AoEs and all that. It really weirded me out. It gets better over time, of course, but at this time I'm just totally overwhelmed by how this class works. Well done, Serenia. You have exceeded my expectations. Mine not, honestly. I knew I was bad. Which is a fortunate thing, for I did not anticipate the arrival of that fearsome hound. These mages were willing to forfeit their own lives to ensure that we lost ours. Do you see? The brand on her left cheek? This is the cursed sigil which stole her will and left her vulnerable to the most heinous of commands. Our ambushers were young men and women, every one, all transformed into mindless pawns by some hidden master. And this master has shown no compunction against sacrificing pieces that outlive their usefulness. No, this cannot stand. Heed me, Serenia. You have begun your education in red magic, but there's much more I would teach you. Come, let us return to the Lich Yard. Okay. It hurts seeing me like I was here. Know you the history of these graves? The church's Lich Yard is a final resting place for many victims of the 7th Umbral Calamity. Red magic was conceived to stem such tides of destruction in an age when the abuse of sorcery flooded the world with death. Its distinction from earlier disciplines is key. While practitioners of black and white magic draw upon ambient ether, a red mage weaves her spells using only the reserves of mana with which she is born. In the era in which red magic was created, to do otherwise was forbidden. To manifest such powerful effects, the first red mages adopted a method by which precise sword techniques would harness and amplify the energy of their spoken incantations, the mage's own physical form serving as an arcane accelerator, an ingenious way of preserving their self-imposed limitations. Understand that the blade we wield is not simply a weapon, it's the focus of all our efforts to lessen strife and suffering. Every generation of red mage is part of an unending battle. We are soldiers who fight for those enduring violence and subjugation, the bulwark against the unkind vagaries of fate. "20 years ago, I joined the revolutionaries in Alamigo and learned red magic along like-minded companions. We formed the Crimson Duelists, and together we rose up against the tyranny of a mad King Theodoric. We were crushed. Of all the duelists, only I survived to watch our homeland languish under the rule of imperial invaders. Even after leaving Alamigo, I never ceased fighting for its liberation, and when I learned of a calamity, of a threat to all the lands of Eorzea, I allied myself with the valiant scholars of Sharlayan. In the end, I was unable to protect my homeland or halt the approach of fiery disaster. But never once in all these years have I betrayed the oath the duelist swore to champion the weak with heart and steel. Such is the nature of a magic you will learn from this idealistic fool. If you would master this art, however, then my road shall become your road for the duration of your studies. I will remain here at the church for the time being, and be a pest to the good Father Illith, until we uncover the origins of his cult. Your only chore shall be to reflect upon the lessons of the day, and prepare for our next encounter. I remember I was exhausted after this quest because I had such struggle here. And yeah, next is 52. But that will be a while. Anyway, until next time, when we return to the Crystal Tower, I'm Mace and don't get lost.